Mega Nose.
Wally, considered by many to be the last of the Pixar Golden Age, because technically this was This was considered in many of the promotion material to be the last one, because I guess I'll explain it here. There was a meeting, there was a lunch, I guess, that Wall-E with Andrew Stanton, the big heads at Pixar and all that, where after Toy Story was done, they kind of plotted out most of the films that would have come out in between Toy Story and this next film, which is Wall-E. And they planned out basically just a bunch of different ideas. I can't remember if Ratatouille was on there, but I think Brad Bird just came on and was like, hey, can I do The Incredibles? And they were like, yeah. But other than that, I think most of them were planned out in-house, except maybe The Incredibles. I don't know. But the last one that they talked about that day was the story of a robot named Wall-E. Dun 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 dun. I remember that commercial every time I put on the Ratatouille DVD. It was crazy. Anyway.
Ah, I see.
Yep. This one should be one of Skits' favorites, but I don't know if Skits watched it or not. It's more
Skits has watched it.
What?
Skits has definitely watched it before.
Oh, good. It is more Fi than Psy. However,
not as bad as certain other films.
Not as bad as
yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
No. I mean, might as well have space elves in here, kind of folks. I mean, that just went a little too far.
Maybe be like an astro mammoth while you're at it.
Yeah. Actually, here's the idea. Okay, there's so much science out there. Actually, I did some research on this real quick. Side tangent. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania actually has a basis in some science.
Yeah.
You want to hear the science?
Oh yeah.
You want to hear the science, kind folks?
What's the science?
Oh. So, there's this theory in science. Again, a very far out there theory, granted, but there's a theory out there that's like the universe is basically an atom. And if you zoom out even farther, we just might be just a small cell in something else, like a whole other universe or something, which is like we're microscopes compared to, what actually
we
is
are
out
microscopes.
There, What?
Are we microscopes now?
We're microscopic. We're so microscopic.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, wow, we're just a lab full of microscopes.
Yeah, so it's kind of... It has some basis in science, but...
A little bit.
It's just... It's far out there, let me tell you. But that's as far of a science theory as science theories can possibly be, because there is no math to kind of do it.
No, it's kind of, it's a little bit of a twin dump out.
It's more, again, more Fi than Psy, but still, there's just a tiny bit of Psy in there. Anyway, side tangent, gone. Anyway, Wall-E, a.k.a. the greatest Greenpeace film of all time.
Yeah, you could put it that way.
And son, this came out in 2008, the same year as The Dark Knight. So and the superhero craze was at the heights. Dark Knight, Iron Man, it's back when it started to kick off and all that.
Started the MCU with
Iron Man and AC/DC and The Incredible Hulk and the Batman and Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, which is Anyway, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wall-E came out in 2008.
It did.
And Is this a fabulous film? Abso-frickin-lutely. But
Yes,
anyway,
yeah, it's a good one. It's good.
do you know enough about this film to explain it?
Yeah, but I think you probably have the plot more memorized than I do, just because it's a film with a plot.
I mean, yeah, but
Nothing.
so is Cars.
So,
But anyway,
exactly, and yeah, for that to avoid another Cars explanation, I'll let you do it.
to make it go faster,
Sure.
which
You're not-
surprisingly, I go faster talking about this than you do.
Sort of, yeah. I'm having to think back and try and recount it. That's
Quite.
why.
Quite. Anyway, though, okay, very short analysis. We're
The
roughly
future.
we're in the future, approximately 800 years ish in the future,
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
800 ish supposed years in the future. And
New York.
Earth, I guess. Earth is
I think.
what?
I think it's New York.
I don't know. It's somewhere on Earth. I know that. It's somewhere in
Yeah.
North America. Anyway, Earth is kind of a trash bin, if you will, global warming, if you will, trash, that type of stuff. Anyway, though, Earth becomes so unhospitable that humans kind of left in their giant Axiom starships, and started a huge cruise, basically, just going through, traveling through space and time, basically.
Did they though? I thought they were just kind of floating there in outer space. Just
That I was
because it was
exaggerating.
competitive
I know they were
movement.
floating. They blasted off. They were floating in space. They were going on a cruise. It's basically a space cruise, okay? But
a long one.
but
yeah.
but there's a reason why it's taken this long.
Yes.
But anyway, so the first 20 minutes has little to no dialogue, which is incredible. let me
Done
tell
well.
you. It is absolutely incredible,
Done
let me
well.
tell you. No, barely
Except
any
for the
dialogue.
intro.
What?
Except for the song in the intro where it's like, "There's a world outside of Yonkers."
Well, yeah.
That's what makes me say New York.
Hence the
I've been to Yonkers,
barely in the explanation here. Barely any dialogue. There are some commercials too, and Wally and Eve also say words, but they don't say complete sentences.
Yeah. Wally plays Pong, from what I recall.
He does. And yeah, so basically Wall-E is the last of his kind, basically, where all the trash compactor, robots that are supposed to clean up Earth kind of, stopped working. And there's actually a comic book that kind of explains it further, but I won't get into that. But anyway,
Oh, interesting.
as to why, these robots died. But anyway, Wally's the last of his kind. He finds a cockroach. I forget his name because they never say his name. It's not Bernie. Bernie's the other guy. But anyway,
It's a New York cockroach.
yeah,
That's what
because
they call them
cockroaches
in New York.
survive a lot. let me tell you.
Cockroach.
Yes.
For the New York tradition. Cockroaches.
Anyway, you kind of see his life. You see him.
Yeah.
You see him
Ping pong.
building like his huge garbage structures and all that.
Yeah, lot of cubic structures.
He collects garbage
Yeah,
too. Like he collects.
Compacts it.
Yeah, he collects. What? He has a boot. He's got all these weird, like, he has a bra, something too, and all that. Then he finds a plant, and that will come later. Do you know what plant it is? No, I don't think any of us know. It's just a sapling, but
It's just in a pot.
it's just in a
That's all
it's in
I
a
remember.
fridge, which I don't even know how a plant could survive in a fridge.
I forgot about that. But yeah,
I don't know. Whatever. Movie's gonna movie, but anyway.
yeah.
Eve comes down. Wally's in love. And she gets frustrated, destroys everything after like a couple weeks of not finding anything, and Wally, kind of has a little semi date, brings her back to his place, and you kind of get it on. Also, this is the first Pixar film to have live action elements in here, aka Hello Dolly.
Ship captain guy.
The ship captain. There's the people that went on the first Axiom flights in the commercial and all that, and excerpts from Hello Dolly, which is kind of interesting because 20th Century Fox was not owned by Disney at that time, so they had to make a deal to put that film in a Pixar film, which I gotta say,
that's really funny. Nice.
Anyway,
good for them.
Anyway, though, Eve finds the plants. She absorbs the plants. She
goes into
hibernation, I guess, and Wally goes on
into like waiting mode.
Yeah, goes on. Then Wally goes on some dates with her, I guess, like kind of. I don't know. Kind of like a pretend dates, I guess. It's kind of weird. Anyway, Eve gets picked up. Wally follows her on the rocket. And then we go to the Axiom, which that's the end of dialogueless stuff here, and then there's fat ass humans that just are on their chairs just being all like, I'm on Skype now and I'm doing business on this thing here and I'm super fat because I don't work out.
I'm using Windows Vista now.
Windows Vista, Skype, okay, and just doing all this crazy crap. Try blue. It's the new red. Ooh.
Oh, wowie.
Wally kind of taking it in and all that, and
oh,
wow, yeah. So
wowie.
And there's a lot of commentary to be had with this particularly, especially if you're falling to a certain, I'm not going to say it, there's a certain dialogue to be had with a certain type of people that I'm not going to get into.
AKA, a certain type that
AKA if
you have
AKA
someone in your life. Yeah.
No, I don't have that in my life, but
okay.
I imagine a corporation taking over life.
Mitsubishi Electric.
That's basically
JK.
People who are opposed to that. That's basically what I'm talking about. Anyway, Wally.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Man.
Yeah. Wowie, they're fat.
No, there's. My dog, Fig, is just farting up a storm. I'm just like, what the heck? I can't barely breathe.
A lot of pops. They silent pops or something.
Yeah, they're so silent but deadly. Holy crap.
They're like, surprise, I popped.
It's like a skunk. What the heck? I know it's not weed because no one here does any weed, but still, I don't know. Anyway.
Not weed, God.
Anyway, though, so what else we got? So he's exploring and all that. The captain and the wheel, they all figure out that Eve's got a plant, but she turns out that the plant is missing. So now they gotta find the plant, and they do a lot of misadventures and all that. Wally kind of is like, they kind of go through a bunch of stuff, just kind of little misadventures, and Wally kind of brushes up to Eve, kind of starts to turn on the love factor, if you will.
Oh yes.
There's Mo, aka the cleaning robot that kind of goes around the ship that cleans up after Wally because he's super dirty.
Yep. That's right.
And then I guess the captain learns more about Earth, basically going on Siri or Google and just being like, hey, define.
There was no Siri yet.
There was no Siri yet, but it's basically Siri in today's world. It's like, hey, computer, define pizza. Pizza.
Computer.
Pizza
Pizza
is a
is the
homeless
pizza
piece of
of
pizza. Anyway,
pizza to born.
there's two other humans that are just like kind of random. They kind of
Randomly generated.
I don't even know what the heck they're supposed to be about. They're just there. I don't know. They don't do anything.
Yes.
They're just
They're just yeah.
I don't even know why they're there. But anyway, they're just there trying to be like, oh hey, wait, maybe not standing up and just sitting on your chair all day, maybe that's wrong. Maybe you should go out and experience life. Maybe that's a good thing to do.
If they could dump and walk, I suppose. Yes.
I mean, they started to. I mean,
they tried.
Anyway, though, then there's a big, huge thing comes around where they find the plants. They rush up to the captain to give him the plants. And then
Captain, my captain.
Captain's excited, but the wheel's like, no, can't do that. Because Earth sucks, and there's a prime directive, whatever,
Prime directive.
Tries to kill Wally. Wally falls down into the trash compactor. You find that there's bigger
The
Wallies.
Mega Wally.
Wallays.
So they weren't extinct.
There's Wallays, if you will, where it's instead of Earth, it's axiom, if you will, and yeah. So, bunch of confusion, all that stuff happens. There's a big, huge push to like get the plants back into the ship, so the ship can transport him back to Earth. While he's at death's door, there's no parts for him, and he basically sacrifices his life for humanity. They go light speed back to Earth. They land on Earth. Eve fixes Wally, but Wally's like, "Oh, I don't remember you." But then all of a sudden he does, and he's like, "Eva, Wally."
Eva.
And I gotta say, okay, even explaining this gets me teary-eyed. Okay, listen, it's just
touching his toilet, I tell you.
It is, and it's all about, and that's basically it. The robots and all that. Eve and Wally fall in love. There's an epilogue in the credits where they kind of start, building back human civilization that in a better way.
Yeah.
Where Earth and humans can coexist. So, yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, is it a perfect film like Ratatouille? No. Like I said, the two humans, I have no idea.
It was far more memorable, of course, for skits, but...
Yeah, it was more memorable for skits. It's not perfect, however, it is high up there, okay? On Letterboxd, I have it as, like, in the top 10, okay? It's that great of a film.
Yeah, it's in my top 10, for sure.
Son, what do you have to say about Wall-E?
Wally. Let's see. Falling off of the badassery of Cars, I forgot to mention this about Cars, but you want to talk about a very damn good video game adaptation of a film? That's it. We're getting in the Spider-Man 2 Maguire edition realm. So, yeah, it's if you like driving games, this is one worth checking out. Very early Xbox 360 title, funny enough. But yeah, Wall-E also has a very good video game, and what it does even better than the Cars game is I think it follows the plot of the film a lot more linearly, where the Cars game is kind of more of like a tie-in. But, let's see, what Slam forgot to mention was also the security robots that are like, halt, 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 halt. So, halt. Anyway, yeah. What else? Like I said before, the the nice little inclusion of Atari Pong was a nice touch. Thought that was cool. I gotta wonder if that somehow goes back to Steve Jobs being associated with Pixar, because before he was, doing the Apple thing, he worked for Atari, aka Atari, who made Pong. And maybe that's like a little tie-in there. Who knows? Let's see.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. I mean, Slim. I think that's about all I got.
Is it? Okay, well, what's your rating then, son?
This one's gonna get a 9. I want it to be a 10, but it's just... I don't know why, but there's the Cars film and franchise just really does something for me that this one just doesn't quite have. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit too much of the thing you mentioned about certain squad of society members that associate with such a sour sauce for large entities of business.
Here's the thing, okay? I think that's got a
maybe
lot of...
it was a little bit of that deep down.
I think there's a lot of interesting ideas. It touches on everything. It's not preachy like certain other...
No, it's not.
Like certain other films. It's just...
No.
It's hidden in there enough where you're just like, it doesn't distract from the message. It doesn't distract from the plot of the film, which the plot is just almost chef's kiss, basically.
Almost,
I
yeah.
will also push your 9 and give it a 9 as well.
Good poop.
The only real reason I would give it a 9 is because it's got a lot of ideas. It's pushing a lot of them. There's two things I have an issue with this film about. I don't know. I was expecting more, I guess, Main thing is it just takes place in this one like crappy Earth setting and then the Axiom, and that's it. The Axiom is really small in my opinion. It's just not that big, It seems like I don't know, but it's just I wanted more, I wanted a little bit more, a little bit of something at the end.
It felt like something was missing, and I don't really know what it is.
The end was just there was something off about it. It was just a little...
It was like it kind of just stopped.
Yeah, it was just
wanted something else to happen. It was maybe a little too big of a cliffhanger. It's like, all right, we could do it. The end. I was like, okay, well, that's somewhat resolving, but not the resolution.
I mean, for me, it was like it was building up to this, but everything just fell perfectly into place, and I was like, Deus Ex Machina, Deus Ex Machina, the movie right here, kind of folks. But everything else did work. The one other thing that didn't work for this film for me are those two people. John Ratzenberger plays one of them. And I don't understand the point. They're just there. I don't know why they're here.
I see.
But other than that, fabulous film. I really enjoyed the first 30 minutes where it was
Me too.
very little dialogue, and no real faces, but
Pong.
Pong, and you could feel everything that were with these characters just by the way they moved and the way they looked at each other. It was just I couldn't believe that Pixar could do that, and they did it. The end.
They did.
Indeed.
I mean sausage.
Unfortunately, though,